Hello, we're here in BA 1100 at eLearning and Blackboard, and we're going to talk about your final portfolio, which is 30% of your grade. So how do you approach your final portfolio? Well, first, if you look to the left, you will see the menu at eLearning and how each section shows you what percentage of your final grade it represents. So the assessments are 10% of your final grade, the journals are 20%, event attendance is 20%, the degree plan quiz is 10%, service learning is another 10%, and your final portfolio is 30%. So this is your whole semester. Now, this class has been in some ways intentionally vague. We want you to struggle a little bit. We want to introduce ambiguity into your life. You're not always going to know the right answer. You're going to walk into class and do class activities sometimes that don't seem entirely connected to what you do outside of the class, and you are going to have to forge that connection. You are going to have to make meaning of what we're doing in class and figure out why it's important and what it represents. You know, how you can use it. This is much like a job. As I was telling one of my seniors the other day, I've never been trained for pretty much anything that I've actually done on the job. So the training I've gotten has been interesting and helpful, but very rarely has it actually had any connection with my day-to-day job activities. Now, when I sat down and reflected on it, I could usually build connections. And that's what we're asking you to do. Build the connections that make what you do in the classroom meaningful to you so that you can apply it in the future. Now, you begin with your assessments. The great thing about the final portfolio is it actually reflects that. So if you click on Final Portfolio, you'll note the due date, December 1st by 8 a.m., and it accounts for 30% of your grade. Here are the instructions. You are going to build this semester-long project, and it does need to be a document. Now, does it have to be a Microsoft Word document? No, it could be a PowerPoint. It could be something else, but it needs to be a document with pages that you can submit here. If you choose to do something like a video, that's fine. Just create a document and then put the video link on the front page. Many people use YouTube, and they'll create a Gmail account and upload their videos that way. And they'll just put that link on the front page. Wonderful. Now, I will give you the higher of the two grades. So if you do such a thing, if you get creative, great. I will grade both and give you the higher grade. Now, we ask you to do a self-analysis. So that's where we begin. You're going to use the self-assessment tools discussed in class, StrengthsFinder, the risk assessment. You're going to think about grit and mindset. And you are going to identify the skills, attributes, and strengths that make you unique. So, however you want to depict this, depict it. You have your scores. You have some information based on that. How do you see yourself? Then compare your skills with the skills needed for your chosen degree or career. So what is it you want to do? It's okay to not know very well, but one thing I would urge you to do is to look up a couple of job ads. Go online, look at actual job ads, people advertising for a job that you want after graduation, and write down or copy and paste what they want and look at where you are. Chart a path. This is what we're asking you to do this semester, to kind of figure out a path that would give you the most opportunity and the lifestyle and life challenges that you're seeking. You did a personal SWOT analysis in class. SWOT is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We divided a piece of paper up into 4 sections, and you jotted these down. You can take that same SWOT analysis and represent it. You can build something that shows your skills, attributes, and strengths and incorporates it with your SWOT analysis. I don't know what you're going to do, but this is up to you. And make it clear so I can grade it, but make it interesting and attractive and pertinent. Now, think about what you've learned about time management in college. I haven't harped on you with deadlines. You were given the deadlines, you know the deadlines, and it is your job to follow up on them. So, how have you succeeded with your time management plans? And how have you struggled? How can you improve? Now is the time to really look at what you can do to meet your own goals so that your time in college is more profitable. Do you have an app that you use? Do you use Outlook? How are you scheduling things? How are you putting them on your calendar? And how are you keeping track of everything that needs to get done? What could be improved? Reflect that in your self-analysis. Your second section is your academic and co-curricular analysis. So, analyze the requirements for the chosen degree plan and construct a 4-year plan. Now, you can look up your degree plans pretty easily. Put in UT Dallas, put in your major, take a look at what you need to do. You're doing that right now as you prepare to meet with advising, and you look at registration. So, look at course sequencing. When do you take which courses? Make a note of all your possible elective choices, and see if you want to pursue a double major or minor. This is particularly helpful if you look back at those job ads that hopefully you're looking for your chosen degree and career. So we're trying to force you to create that path in a way that makes sense. Where are you going to go and what are you going to do with your life? And why are you doing it? Please don't pursue things that aren't worth your time. Identify the timing for additional learning opportunities. So if you need to have an internship, when is that going to happen? Are you going to have more than one? I would urge you to do so. We've heard that Toyota is actually really looking at sophomores this year. So you're freshmen, Toyota's coming, so they could be looking at internships for you. Look at service learning, look at study abroad, student organizations, and leadership opportunities. So what are you going to do and when are you going to do it? Think about the SMART goals that you set for your college career, professionally and personally. So SMART, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. What goals do you have? Are you going to get a CPA? Do you want to found a foundation? Do you want to save a certain amount for retirement? Do you want to buy a house and pay it off? These are goals that many people identify. Some of you want a sports car. Wonderful. Well, how are you going to get that? Identify areas where additional help may be needed. So if you have weaknesses, so we with Swot, we look at strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. If you have weaknesses, but you want to overcome them, how do you proactively move forward to get help? So, let's look at the last section, the career analysis. You can hear the birds in my house a little bit. You're going to map out the SMART goals that will lead you to an entry-level job. So what are SMART goals again? They're specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. So a SMART goal is not, I will learn a new language. A SMART goal is where you say, okay, I'm going to be able to go to the store and order meatballs in Italian in a month and a half. So you set out a goal, and how am I going to do this? I'm going to work every week and practice my grocery terminology and go to the Italian market with a woman who speaks Italian, and I'm going to practice. All right, so that's specific. You know what you're going to do. It's measurable. I can tell when I've done it, how I actually used Italian and ordered the meatballs. It's achievable, it's realistic, and timely. So what goals are specific enough that will get you to where you want to go? Try not to just say, I'm going to learn how to code. What language? How are you going to get there? Reflect on your first job in your chosen career field. Consider questions such as, what would be a realistic entry-level job for this field? Now remember, I asked you to look up jobs. So look up jobs. What are the requirements for the position and what's a realistic salary? What skills will I need to develop? What internship opportunities will prepare you? Look at those jobs. Look at what they want. And really think about what it is you need to have to get the job you want. I've had students leave and make $35,000 a year. I've had students leave and make $45,000, students leave and make $55,000, $65,000, $75,000, and one of the best was $90,000. How did they get these salaries? Well, they left and people pursued them and gave them these salaries because of the skills and relationships that they had developed over their time here. So How do your strengths align with your chosen career? What have you learned from the lab sessions, Bloomberg Businessweek articles, and or Johnny Bunko? So these are things that, in main part you've done outside of class. We are asking you to reflect. You've reflected. You've met some people. You've hopefully talked about some of your writing. If you haven't, pull someone aside. Say, what have you done? What do you think about your field? Now, what would an industry SWOT analysis look like? You've done a SWOT analysis on yourself. What does one look like in the job field for your particular job? What do professionals want to see? So if someone's interviewing you, what are they going to be looking for? What could future promotions look like for you? So if you found 1 or 2 jobs, what's the path that you would take forward from those jobs? This is where you do some prime Googling. Think about, and you don't have to know everything today, but reflect on and think about and do some research on, what you want, how you're going to be promoted, what your long-term goals are. If you want to work in Taiwan in shipping for supply chain management and you want to be a manager or senior manager in that company, what's a realistic time frame? What do promotions look like? Where do you need to start? How can you use your skills, hobby, career to make a difference? So this is our final thought. You will have spent some time giving back this semester. Think about what you want to give to your community and to the people around you who are coming after you. What do you want your legacy to be? How are you going to make the world a better place? Because, I personally, I don't know if any of this is worth it if we aren't building something better. If you're just in it for the pleasure of the moment, well, that seems a little sad. So how are you going to make a difference? How are you going to be remembered? How are people going to think about you and who you are and what you did? Now, many of you have submitted a portfolio draft number 1 or number 2. I will give you feedback soon on these. Please submit them. If you submit a week before the deadline, you will not get any feedback. So, all components need to be well integrated in your final version. And if you're going to use, so here's where you submit that final portfolio. Submit it before December 1st, 8 a.m. Please don't submit at 8 a.m. because it will be closed at 8 a.m. That's when it closes. But submit everything there and take some time and really use this as an opportunity to think about who you are and what you want and why you're going to get there. Because you will. You're pretty amazing, actually, as a group. So put together something you can be proud of. I can't wait to see what you do. Thanks a lot. Have a good day. Bye.